And Manchester United win on penalties against the mighty Rochdale of League One. I mean, look, we're a joke. Manchester United are an absolute joke, and we're not a funny joke. We are a bad joke. And anybody who tries to find positives in this, whether you're Patrice Evra or just a Mr. Happy, half-glass full Manchester United fan, I would say why? Can you please explain to me why we should be positive? And I want to just say, first of all, since when did our fan club become such a bunch of cretins? Why am I looking on social media and seeing Tahith Chong get absolute abuse? I mean, who are you? When did you start supporting Manchester United, and why do you support Manchester United? Why on earth is Tahith Chong getting absolute abuse on Twitter and social media? It's a disgrace. Take a long, hard look at yourself. Why is it Tahith Chong's fault that we're shit? Did he play at the weekend? Did he play against Leicester? No. He's a young player starting his career at Manchester United who may well not be good enough, who I'll give you a spoiler warning, I'm only going to give him 4 out of 10. He didn't play well. But you do not do that to youth players. He's not even played 5 first team games for the club, and United fans are calling him a load of shit and giving him abuse. Absolute disgrace on the fan base. Absolute disgrace. And people can say what they like about this channel or whatever like that, but slating young players, whether they're going to be good enough or not, I think is cheap and absolutely disgusting. And we like to banter Arsenal fans for being flip-flops, and we as a fan base have to take it on the shoulders that we've got people in our fan base slagging off a young player like that. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. I don't care whether he had a bad game or not. I don't care if he was bad against the Stana tonight. He wasn't that good. He's a young player. He might have 4 or 5 bad games and go on to be one of our best players ever. He might have 4 or 5 bad games and get loaned out and never play again. Whatever happens, you've got to give these youth players a chance to find out. And you don't find out after 2 games. So disgusting, absolutely disgusting that fans think it's a good idea to slate a young player after a couple of games. And for anyone who says, oh, you do it about Lingard and you do it about Rashford, they've been playing for bloody years. They're senior pros in this football club and they're not turning up. It's very, very different. Very, very different. You've got to give a player time before you start deciding that they're shit and the manager's making his tactics wrong. So I think that was bang out of order what's going on that. What's not bang out of order is we are an embarrassment as a football club. We've got rival fans laughing at us day in, day out. And, Patrice Evra, we were talking about his tweets today saying, fans have got to be positive. We've got to be positive. If you can't be positive, you're not a real fan. How are fans meant to be positive with what we're doing at the moment, right? What did we hear yesterday? We heard that United are a youthful attacking team and there's a long-term strategy. We've invested loads of money in our youth and we believe it's going to come to fruit in the future, right? So Chelsea get a transfer ban, start playing youth in the Premier League, do really well. Go and beat somebody 7-1 tonight with a load of youth in it. Arsenal did it last night. They beat Forest 5-0. Liverpool have got youth playing in their team. Everybody's playing youth. And yet our youth actually isn't even ready. Whoever it is, it's not actually ready. Greenwood's getting us out of jail because he's a goal scorer, but everybody else, they clearly aren't ready. When I saw Chong coming off after an hour today, I thought we've just lost another player. Because we let Sanchez and Lukaku go on the pretense, I suppose, that these youth players were ready. Well, Chong probably isn't ready. Yet he was... The way Ollie was talking about these young players is, we don't need Sanchez and Lukaku because these young lads are ready. But are they ready? So they're not ready, are they? So that's another player that we haven't got to play in the front 3 positions, isn't it? It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing the situation we put ourselves into. And what's even more embarrassing is this myth that we're all about youth and attacking football when we couldn't attack a bloody bowl of soup with a spoon at the moment. And on top of that, the youth is nowhere near as good as Chelsea or Arsenal or Liverpool. So what is it we're doing? What is it we're doing? I don't know. I'm very confused. The word confused and disappointed comes out again, doesn't it? But what I want to say is I actually want to throw in a positive and say amongst all that youth, Mason Greenwood again scored a goal in a game where we didn't look like scoring many goals. Loads of shots, but we don't create enough good chances. But I want to give a big shout out to Axel Twansebi because he was captain tonight when there were senior players on the pitch. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer actually sent a message out tonight. Pogba was on the pitch. Why would he not be captain? If Jones was on the pitch, why would he not be captain? And I think it just shows you what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is trying to do. He's giving it to players who are actually focused and want to be at the club. And I thought Twansebi played a really leader's game at the back. He was a positive. But going back to what... Look, this is the big thing I've took from this game tonight, right? Because somebody said it in the live comments on the watch-along. They said, Manchester United at the weekend, we had Matic and Mata playing and McTominay. We played really slow, boring football, 2 holding midfielders, tried to hit a team on the break with no pace, and we were crap. And all we ever did against West Ham really was try and go down the width and put crosses into players who aren't good enough in the air. We did it against Astana last week as well. Today I saw the same thing. Why are we playing 2 holding midfielders against Rochdale? I mean, why are we playing 2 holding midfielders anyway? But why are we playing 2 holding midfielders against Rochdale? Pogba and Fred both played really deep. We're Manchester United at home against the League One side in the Carabao Cup, and we're playing 2 holding midfielders. And I know Fred and Pogba got forward. They did get forward, but actually without the ball they were playing as sort of like 2 holding midfielders. He's changed. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's just changed. As I said, he's changed, and I don't know why. I do know why. He's playing not to lose instead of trying to win games because he's scared. He's now become a manager on the run, a rabbit in the headlights. He's scared of losing his job, so he's not doing what he did at the start when there was no pressure. We played 4-3-3 with 1 holding midfielder and 2 box-to-box midfielders and 3 dynamic fast forwards. That's what he did for the first 3 months. Ever since then, he started tweaking. He's used a diamond. He's gone, and now he's using 4-2-3-1. 2 holding with Paul Pogba and Fred holding the midfield against Rochdale. I mean, and the reality is, Pogba's quick, Fred's quick, Lingard's quick. I'm talking on the ball quick. They're quick across the ground. And yet, the football was turgid and slow. It's tactics, people. The tactics are what is making us slow. We are a slow team from back to front because of the tactics we use. If you look at like a team like a Liverpool or a Man City, or even a Chelsea now, when a team makes when there's a chance to break on a team or they make a mistake or they're out of position, they break fast so that the opposition can never get back into position, and that's why they create loads of chances, because they catch the opposition on their heels. We don't. When we get the ball, we go side to side to side to side to side. The opposition get back into place so that when the cross does come in, and I don't know why we're playing width football. If we were going to play width football, we may as well have kept Lukaku because he likes getting on the end of crosses. Mason Greenwood's 17. He ain't going to get on the end of crosses. Lingard's not really going to get on the end of crosses. I know he nearly scored a goal, but he's, not consistently. But consistently, we're whacking crosses into the box with nobody to get on the end of them. I don't get what the tactics are at United. I still don't know what the best 11 is. I still don't know what the philosophy is, and I still don't know what the formation is. But the formation we're playing is this 4-2-3-1, and it doesn't matter who he plays. Like Matic and Mata are donkey slow, but we were donkey slow with players that aren't donkey slow today. It's baffling what's going on with the club. It really is baffling what Ollie's trying to do, and I'm worried. I'm worried because I think we'll get something against Arsenal. I just think that the players will turn up. You'll suddenly see a performance like they can do every now and again. AZ Alkmaar next Thursday in Holland will be a good team. And that could be difficult. And then you've got that Europa playing on Sunday against Newcastle. That could be different. Then it's the international break. I can't see for the life of me how we get something out of Liverpool. I just, even on a good day, even on a perfect day, I can't see how United's best 11 get anything out of Liverpool. So things could get a lot worse. They could get a lot worse. And I do worry. I do worry. But for me, it's the tactical side of things. And you know what? I think Jesse Lingard in that number 10 position, I know he got an assist. Arsenal beware. Jesse Lingard got an assist against Rochdale. It's his first assist in a decade, and I think he's going to score. But Rich S says, Mark, his tactics are shambolic and boring. This team is better than the way we are playing. He has to go, and soon, or this will get worse, like it did at Cardiff. Look, I'm not Ollie out, and that's not what I'm saying, but tactically we are in trouble at the moment, and that is the case. But just to talk about Jesse Lingard at the moment, because who picks Jesse Lingard? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Jesse Lingard has been dropped a lot lately. This is Rochdale in the Carabao Cup. Lingard has to play tonight. Whether he plays against Arsenal, I don't know. He has to play tonight. We haven't got a very big squad. He's on big money. He's an experienced player. He's got to play tonight. And then he's the invisible man. He hardly touches the ball, and he's the number 10. It's like he's running away from the ball a lot of the times. I don't know. I feel sorry for Lingard now. I don't know what's become of Jesse Lingard. He is absolutely awful, isn't he? But, so, Paul Pogba. What's going on with Paul Pogba? Now, under no circumstances should tonight be about Paul Pogba. Like, Paul Pogba tonight, wasn't the worst player on the pitch. You should expect more from Pogba because he's a brilliant player. But we're wasting Paul. Why did we keep Paul Pogba to play him as a deep line midfielder? Like, it's a total waste of time. I'm baffled again as to why we kept Paul Pogba. He didn't want to be here. We could have got good money. We could have bought 2 midfielders who did want to be here, and we're playing him as a holding midfielder. It makes no sense. And the biggest thing for me about Paul Pogba, I'm worried about Paul Pogba now, right? Because, one, why didn't he get the captain's armband tonight? Seriously, why didn't Paul Pogba get the captain's armband tonight? We force him to stay when he doesn't want to be here, and then we're now not giving him and then we've got the hump with him, and we're not giving him the captain's armband. That's weird. But on top of that, you got a penalty shootout against Rochdale, right? We should be beating Rochdale 3-4-5-0. We don't. We end up going to penalties. We're on the verge of a very embarrassing loss. So those 5 penalty takers are really important. Who takes the penalties? Mata, Pereira, Dan James, Greenwood, and I forget who took the other one. I forget who it was. I can't think who took the other penalty. It wasn't one of the defenders, was it? I forget. But it wasn't Paul Pogba. It wasn't Paul Pogba, was it? He didn't take a penalty. So why is Paul Pogba not taking a penalty for Manchester United? You would think, as such an important player for us, in such a potentially embarrassing scenario, you would and also, the best of the best here is that Paul Pogba's one of our designated penalty takers. Yeah, he does. Fred took the other one, yeah. So why? I think there's a story going on with Pogba. We don't give him the captaincy, and then he doesn't take a penalty when he's a designated penalty taker in a 5 penalty shootout, where if we lose, it's really, really embarrassing. So why didn't Paul Pogba take a penalty tonight? I don't know. So again, not only are we playing bad football, not only are our tactics crap, not only is our midfield crap, not only is our squad very, very threadbare, there's also a clear issue again with Paul Pogba. So unless he's got an injury, which he might have done, again, I mean, look, maybe he was carrying an injury, he didn't want to take a penalty. There might be something as simple as that in it. But he's not the only one tonight who should, despite the tactics, be able to do a little bit more against Rochdale. But you know why? Let's take it away from Rochdale for a moment. You know why we've lost to Huddersfield in the last few years, and we've lost to Cardiff, and we've lost to Newcastle, and we've lost to Everton 4-0, and all the other bad results we've had, and the amount of times we've been 0-0 at half-time at Old Trafford like we have been today over the last few years. Do you know why it happens? It's not an isolated incident. It can happen any time with this squad. The reason it happens is, and apparently Pogba was injured, so there we go. But the reason this happens is, you look at the way Rochdale played tonight. Rochdale, fire. The fair's on fire. They're absolutely running around like madmen to put out fires and, fight as a community to keep everything under control. Because United are way better than them. But they fight, and they show passion and desire, and they never stop. United don't do that. We don't do that. And it's not Ollie. It's not Mourinho. It's not Van Gaal. It's not Moyes. We've recruited and inherited a lot of players who don't have a backbone and won't fight every single minute for United. The last 5 minutes of that game against Rochdale, we were relentless. We looked like we were going to score every minute, and we didn't. The first 80 minutes, nothing. And yet Rochdale did it for 90 minutes. They thought that like their lives depended it for as a team, and we don't do that. And that's why we keep dropping points and getting embarrassed by these so-called lesser teams, because they know against United, if you fight and show effort, they ain't got none. And that is what is wrong with this team. And that is why, at the end of last season, we said, as a collective, let's sell the whole squad. I mean, it was never going to happen, but we all said, all of them, sell the fucking lot of them. They are not United players. They are bottlers. Sell the lot of them and start again. And obviously, we were never going to be able to do that. But we've still got a lot of those players that we had at the end of last season that we said, get rid of them. They're not good enough. They're still all here. A lot of them are still here. Sanchez wasn't even playing at the end of last season. He was injured. Lukaku was on the bench a lot of the time. Herrera, we didn't want him to go anyway. He was one of the better players. And Darmian was never bloody playing anyway. So even the players we've removed this summer, I mean, Smalling maybe would be one of them. But most of those players who were playing consistently at the end of last season are still here now. And we are surprised that we've got no backbone. We are a weak team. We are playing bad tactics. And we have got players who aren't up for the fight. It's a recipe for disaster. And it's not a result I expected tonight. I did not expect us to lose tonight. I really didn't. And we didn't lose. We won on penalties, but I didn't expect us to draw either. And we, the club, I said it today to somebody at the club, actually. I said, look, you know what? I know you want us to listen. I know you want us to be positive. And I know you don't understand why everybody's positive. But can I tell you in the nicest possible way, you didn't have a good summer transfer window. You bought 3 good players, but you totally neglected the midfield. And you've left us totally exposed. There's a load of players here that shouldn't be here because they're not good enough. The manager has started playing weird tactics that he wasn't playing when you recruited him. You didn't invest in that manager. You've retained a load of crap. You're talking about youth investment that nobody really can see coming through. There's 1 or 2, but there's not a whole squad coming through. You're living in a fantasy world. Everything is wrong with this football club. The price, your share price is dropping, and it's going to continue to drop because we ain't getting any better anytime soon. It's a fact that the Adidas sponsorship comes down by a large percentage if we don't get in the Champions League this year, and we're not going to get in it. And I don't know why they didn't spend money on midfielders, because that was our only chance of doing it. The club's in a mess. It's in an absolute mess. This season was going to be hard enough if Ollie got us playing like he did in the first 3 months. He ain't doing that. So we're in a worse position. As for the youth, Mason Greenwood might be about ready to play some first team football. I don't think he's ready to play for week in, week out. The same with Gomez. As for the rest of them, they ain't ready. Chong's clearly not ready, is he? Whether he comes good or not, he's not ready. We're in a bloody mess. We're in an absolute mess, ladies and gentlemen. And the club don't seem to want to. What the club probably do realise it, but what they're trying to do is make out that everything's okay. And the reality is, even if all of us fans went, yeah, you know what, we're going to be positive because Patrice Evra tells us to be, we're going to end up looking like idiots over the next few weeks because we're still going to lose games. We're still going to play crap football and we're still going to struggle. The great thing about positivity is it works as long as you can see. I mean, if you're a Chelsea fan, you lose again at the weekend, you're still going to say we're on the right path. We lose at the weekend on Monday night and we're like, I don't even know what path we're bloody on. Do you see a total twist of the way United play against Arsenal on Monday? I think we'll get a result, but I don't see us going and playing them off the park. I don't think we're capable of doing that. We'll play a 4-2-3-1 again, try and subdue them and hit them on the break. If I was Arsenal, I would come to United and obviously you're going to want 3 points, but if you don't want to lose the game, I'd just play a little bit deep. If you come at us, we'll hit you on the break at Old Trafford. That's what we do. We park the bus at Old Trafford and hit teams on the break. And I think we probably will get a point, but it's worrying. It's worrying. And look, anybody who's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out, the reality is you better start praying that this works its way out because they ain't going to sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. They've actually said, there was a statement today, or it was in a paper today, United are willing to sacrifice 3 years for a title. They realise they're nowhere near it. We could be really near a title if we spent the money we needed to and had the right leadership at the club. But no, they're willing to sacrifice it all. Anyway, let's do the player ratings because I'm going to give Romero a 7. Penalty saves were very good. Didn't really put a foot wrong. I'll give Rojo a 6. I nearly gave him a 7 actually, but he didn't put a foot wrong again. You could have given him a 7. I'm going to give Wan-Bissaka a 5 because everyone says I live up Wan-Bissaka's backside, and actually he didn't play very well tonight. He just didn't look very focused, did he? Maybe he didn't expect to play. Maybe his mind wasn't right. I don't know. He didn't have a very good game today. And I think the whole point of doing a fan channel is to be even-handed. And just because I love Wan-Bissaka, I can't be unfair. I've got to give him a 5. Twan Sebi, I'm going to give him an 8. I thought he was brilliant. I think he was captain of the team, which brings great responsibility. And I don't think he put a foot wrong. I think he did really, really well. So I'll give him an 8. Phil Jones, 4 for number 4. I mean, I'm giving Phil Jones a low score. 1, because he had yellow boots on that basically come with they're a warning sign to the opposition that he's crap. He made loads of mistakes, and I'm going to be harsh on Phil Jones here. We gave him a 5-year contract. I wouldn't give him a 5-week contract. He's injured again. Why did we give him a contract? Who sanctioned that? It's another example of what this club's all about. Ridiculous to give him a contract. The guy's always injured and always has been for the last few years. Why did we give him a contract? Fred, I think you've got to give him a 6, and that might be generous for him and Pogba. You could go lower with both, but I'll give them both a 6. They're both playing ridiculously deep. When they get the ball, there's 50 metres in front of them to try and do something. And when you look at what's in front of them and the scores I'm going to give, very difficult for Pogba and Fred to have a good game when they've got very little in front of them. Chong was definitely a 4. Bad performance. But I'm not going to say anything more than that. He's a young kid and he had a bad game like he did against Astana. He's probably not ready. He probably needs a loan. He probably needs to go in the Championship and toughen up. But we're being sold that he's ready and he's not. I feel sorry for him. I'm not going to slag him off. I don't know why United fans are slagging him off. Why would you slag off a youth player who's only played a couple of games for us? I don't get it. Yes, he didn't play very well. Maybe he won't be good enough. But, God, to be throwing him under the bus at that age after such a... I just don't get that sort of... I know people are angry, but come on. Lingard, I'm going to give him a 3. I know he got an assist, but I thought he was absolutely atrocious. For an experienced player on 100 grand a week and the status he has within the club, I don't know. And the 3 is probably a little bit unfair because he did get an assist and it's a culmination of... but it's a culmination of the last few months. He's been so bad for so long. It's Carabao Cup. It's Rochdale at Old Trafford. You should be getting a couple of goals and running that game as a number 10. And again, it was the invisible man. It's just not good enough. Mason Greenwood, I'm going to give him an 8. You know why? I'm going to give Mason Greenwood an 8 because yet again, he got the goal. He had a lot of shots, but he always shoots on target. 90% of the time, he gets shots on target. And that shows me that he's 17 years of age. He's got 2 goals in 2 games, which you can't complain about. For a striker, that's really good. Yes, he had a lot of shots today, but he always shoots on target and he's always getting chances. And people talk about his physicality and everything like that, but he's still getting chances in these games. So I thought Greenwood was great. Smash a like on the video if Twansibi was your man of the match. Captain of the club tonight. Not many positives tonight, but I thought Twansibi did well. And for anybody who says, well, it's Rochdale, they actually put us up under a lot of pressure. They hit us on the break a lot of the times, and Twansibi, most of the time, was sweeping up. And considering Wan-Bissaka had a bad game as well, he had a lot of work to do, Twansibi, tonight, and the captain's armband. I thought he was absolutely fantastic. And on a game where there's very few positives, I thought he was fantastic tonight. So smash a like on the video of him. Andres Pereira, 5. He's just not doing it, is he? And I know he's not as experienced as a Pogba or a Lingard, but he's been on loan to 2 La Liga clubs. He's not really a youth player anymore. I think he's 23, 24. He ain't doing enough. He's got a good set piece delivery, but other than that, he ain't doing enough, is he? So yeah, I'm not over the moon. I'm not over the moon with that. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as manager again. You've got to give him a 5, haven't you? You've got to give him a 5. It's tactically, I didn't see any improvement. In fact, the scariest thing is I saw a very similar tactical performance to West Ham. The opposition was a little bit worse, so we could get more shots off. But clear-cut chances, we don't create enough. We're going down the width when we've got nothing in the box to get on the end of it. And yeah, you know, Pogba missed a really good chance. We could have maybe scored 3 goals, but Rochdale missed an absolute sitter. I still don't even know how he missed it. That cutback, he's in the 6-yard box. He scuffs it and Wan-Bissaka clears it off the line. I mean, they should have scored. Rochdale should have had 2 goals. Maybe we should have had 3, but it's still not convincing, is it? Brandon Williams, I do want to give him a score. I give him a 7. Let's give him a 7 there. I mean, it was his impetus that got us the goal. I haven't really seen the Rochdale goal enough to know how much at fault he was for it. It was certainly the right back who came in, so you could say it might have been Pereira's fault, to be fair. But I think Brandon Williams, for a young lad, thrown in because Jones was injured, would he have got on normally? I don't know. But you know what? It's very difficult, isn't it? Because everybody with the young players wants to say they're ready. Brandon Williams could be ready, or he might be shit in his next game that he plays. But I thought physically he looks good. He's willing to get into a tackle. He's good at going forward. Yeah, he's very raw. He's very rusty. But I thought he played really well, and I think he looks exciting. And everyone says we need to sign a left back. Well, maybe we don't need to sign a left back. Maybe we've got somebody there who can, you know, sort of give Luke Shaw a bit of a challenge, which everybody knows that he needs. So I was impressed with Brandon Williams. I was impressed with Twansibi, and I was impressed with Greenwood. For me, they were the 3 positives from the game. I don't think anybody else comes out of that game with positives. I thought Rojo and Romero did okay, but they're backup players anyway, and we know they can come in and do a job. But I thought Twansibi, Brandon Williams and Greenwood are the only positives in what really was a really, really bad performance from United. Let's take some of your comments then. Remember, we've got the fan cams coming in. I think Rants is going to go absolutely apeshit, like I say, but we'll look forward to that. Wan-Bissaka should be a 3 tonight at best. He was really bad, says Joe Holdway. Ollie out, says Killian. What about Brandon Williams, says Joskin Alexander? Well, we've just done that. Wan-Bissaka is a great defender, but how is he as a right winger, says David. I think Wan-Bissaka put some good crosses in tonight. I just don't think we've got anyone to get on the end of it. Thanks for the contribution, Adam Taylor. Metal Music Review says, at this rate, the whole first team and half the academy will have first team armbands this year. Too many captains. Ryan FTW, these players have failed under at least 2, some even 4 different managers. We just think the players are good because they play for Manchester United. Look, I agree with that, Ryan. Some of these players are shockingly shit, but the tactics don't help either. And the board don't help. Tonight, you could say it's a culmination of all 3. Jamie Johnson, no team fears coming to Old Trafford, spot on. We aren't going to improve until this board jogs on, but who will get the boot first? The manager, of course. Matthew McFadden, hello Matthew, says, we're relying on a 17-year-old and a 21-year-old just signed from the Championship to bail us out of games. Banter FC in full force once again. Carabao Cup, this was your funny name for the League Cup, but it is the real name, says Andreas Hansen. What is the hell going on with this bloody defence, says Nicholas Halloran. Metal Music Reviews, I basically had the game as a write-off, never expected a big win, ever the optimist though, good to see youth get time, Williams did alright. Wayne Lawrence, thanks for the contribution. I would be Ollie out at this point, but sacking him won't solve our Glazer and Woodward problem, unfortunately, says Glazer's out. Green Grits, I fell in love with Ollie getting the job when things were good. I don't think it was the right decision, but we're passionate fans. Board are supposed to make right decisions and fail yet again. Cobb Ross Aitkins, Rochdale, we can't blame lack of investment for this. It was a good point, actually. Russell Thompson, the mental pressure on these boys now is crushing them, playing and managing fearful of failure because of the backlash, big club problems. Yeah, this is where you need strong leadership. I think the players are in fear. I think the manager is playing not to lose as well. It'd be interesting to see what we do at Arsenal. I think he'll play not to lose again, when actually our best chance is to attack. Rich S. Mark, his tactics are shambolic and boring. This team is better than the way we are playing. He has to go, and soon, or this will get worse. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is a class defensive, poor offensively, says Tyler. Youth carried the first team, says Matty Jones. Andrew Chow, Mark, thoughts on the next round draws. United away versus Chelsea and Liverpool versus Arsenal. Tough draw for us. Think we will go out against the youth of Chelsea. If I haven't seen the draw, but we're out, mate. We're out. We won't beat Chelsea at Chelsea, so we're out. I'm looking forward to that, though. And Liverpool versus Arsenal. That'll be a good game. 2 good games. Looking forward to those. Joe Holdway, Wan-Bissaka was terrible at fault for the goal. We will face Chelsea at Stamford Bridge next round, says Joskin Alexander. We're out. Trying not to be Ollie out, but I'm going to get close. What do we do? What do we work on in training? We have no structure going forward. Every player takes too many touches. I'm going to talk about that Chelsea thing in a minute. Tyler, thanks for the contribution. Metal Music Reviews. Williams played all right. Good to see him today. Lincoln Jackamy, you lot wanted the youth. Stop whining over your food. And Robbie Lincoln, that comment doesn't make any sense. What's your positive though? You wanted the youth, stop whining over your food. Well, what's good about it? What's the other side to your argument there? Like, the team on Sunday didn't have youth in it and it was shit. So why would we not want to give the youth a game? And Greenwood, Williams and Twansabi were good. So are we not right in wanting the youth? I'm confused by that one, to be honest. And Rodney Francis, is there a manager available that has a black book of quality players that you can call upon in January? If I was playing United, wouldn't interest me, says Rodney Francis. Thanks for those contributions. Please do smash a like on the video, everybody. Fan cams are coming in, so I want to wrap this up very quickly. But look, we are out. We are out. We are absolutely out of the Carabao Cup if we've got Chelsea next. They'll wipe the floor of us with their second team and their first team. So we're going out. And I presume that Carabao Cup game will be around the time we're playing. I don't know. It's another game, isn't it? We haven't got the squad for it. We haven't got the squad for this as well at the moment. Let's be honest. Dalot's injured. Gomez is injured. Shaw's still injured. Martial's been injured for ages. Pogba's only back. We're threadbare. That's on the board. The tactics aren't good enough, and some of the players aren't good enough. It's nothing new. It's nothing new. I'm not ranting because I've done that. It's nothing new. We're in a bloody mess. We're in an absolute mess. But don't worry. There's positivity from the board. Watch out for the fan cams. I've just seen the thumbnail for the first one. Pogba was shit. So if you want to go in on Pogba, one of our fan cams has. That'll be up in about 2 minutes' time. Subscribe, get your notifications on. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow lunchtime for an Arsenal versus Manchester United combined 11. That's going to be fun, but the fan cams are coming. Speak to you all soon. Look, if we didn't have this community, at least we've got it, because I tell you what, it's never been as bad as this. Thanks for watching.